Hey there, beautiful people. It's Coach Mike here with this Mindset Monday on this first Friday of the week. I'm your health coach, strength coach, educator, motivator, bad jokes, raising hopes. Don't let it happen, make it happen, Patty, Daddy. And today we're going to talk about self-talk. There's a little bit of drilling going on outside in the background, but that's okay. We're going to push on through. We're not going to let some external mess have an effect on what we do. With that said, self-talk. So, I just need to get up and do it. Or I need to work on that. Get up and go. I'm too lazy. It's too hard. Or I should have worked out today. Or I should have eaten this. Or I shouldn't have eaten that. We're shouldn't all over ourselves. Why did this happen to me? Victim, victim, victim. With my luck, something bad's gonna happen. That was one of my favorites. Always looking over the shoulder, waiting for the other shoe to drop. I'm no good at this. I suck at this. I'm terrible. How many of these have you said to yourself over the course of the last 10 years, over the course of your life? You probably said things even worse than that to yourself. That's like the PG version. There's some of the things that I've said to myself. I wouldn't call my worst enemy. Not that I have enemies, but if I did, I wouldn't want to call them some of the things that I've said to myself. But these negative talk examples and many more they're tyrannical thoughts and words that we use against ourselves with a victim mentality. We look at what we think we should be, and then we berate ourselves for not being that person and not being able to perform the way we want to or perform a certain task. But then we judge ourselves. We judge ourselves, at least for me, I judge myself harsher than anybody else ever could. So how do we stop this negative thought cycle? Well, instead of shaming ourselves and attempting to tyrannically overthrow our thoughts and our thought processes, we can begin to negotiate with ourselves. So while the tyranny of forcing yourself to do something can bring about some short-term results, short-term behavior change, that change unfortunately is not sustainable. Now, if you look at the classic depiction of military boot camps, the drill sergeants, they're screaming and yelling at their subjects day after day for weeks on end to help retrain the brain to be submissive to orders. But over time, because that's not sustainable, but over time the bellowing and the beratement starts to ease off, and the chatter then becomes more structural. So the goal would be after boot camp, the goal would be to rebuild the mind with thoughts of confidence and self-efficacy and competence. So if we want to change that cycle, we have to begin to catch our negative self-talk. We have to recognize it with curiosity, not with judgment, but with curiosity, and then change that thought to begin a new cycle of positive and uplifting self-perception. An example of this might be one that I used to say to myself all the time: "Oh, I suck at math. I'm just no good at it." So now if I catch myself with that thought, I say to myself, that's an interesting thought. So no judgment, just a recognition. Then I might ask myself, what would I have to do to become better at math? So I'm sparking a conversation. So notice I'm asking a question here instead of dismissing this self-diagnosed inept ability to solve math problems. Another example might be, I'm so lazy. I'm just a lazy person. So here I might ask myself, well, what could I do in the next 10 minutes that needs to be done around the house? So instead, like if you look at specific tasks, many times we look at the likes of laundry and think, oh, I have to do laundry. Again, that designation of I have to is a tyrannical thought. But if we shift those thoughts to asking ourselves questions, we go a little easier on ourselves. By asking ourselves questions, the likelihood of us actually changing is much greater. So people, animals, we make positive long-term changes with positive reinforcement, not negative reinforcement. So start to ask yourself questions instead of, oh, I have to do this, or I should just do this, or I should have done this. Instead of tyrannically overthrowing our thoughts, ask ourselves questions to get to the end result. And then make sure that you give yourself that little pat on the back when you do complete that task, because it's when we positively reinforce ourselves. We don't need outside people, outside resources to tell us that we're doing well. We have to tell ourselves we're doing well, and only then can we change that negative thought cycle for the long term. That's all I got for you, folks. Hope the noise in the background wasn't too much for you guys. I hope you have a fantastic day. I hope you have a fantastic week, and make sure to stay beautiful.